Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers. In this video, we are doing a first run of the Saucony Guide 17 stability shoe. Let's have a look. The Saucony Guide 17 costs £135 or $140. It weighs 278 grams or 9.8 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 6mm. The Saucony Guide 17 continues the popular stability line with a number of updates that the brand is calling CenterPath technology. This includes a wider platform, higher sidewalls, and an updated asymmetric profile. This overhaul is designed to hold the foot into a deeper position and nestles it between those two sidewalls, without the need for supportive plastics or posts. The shoe also features an increased level of PWRRUN midsole foam in the forefoot, which produces the new 6mm drop, a soft PWRRUN Plus sock liner, and strategically placed outsole rubber to protect the midsole and improve grip. In addition, there's also a new upper design that makes the shoe slightly roomier than its predecessors.
So I found the fit of the Guide 17 to be really good in my normal running shoe size, the same size I have across Saucony's range of shoes. It's got a nice roomy toe box and a good amount of room for what I would use as an easy day shoe primarily, so it's nice to have that little bit of extra space. Nicely padded heel and collar as you expect. Good hold around the heel and midfoot, so yeah, no concerns at all in my normal running shoe size with the Saucony Guide 17.
So the fit for me in the Saucony Guide 17, I'm a size 8 in the UK. I found this to be a very comfortable shoe. There's loads of padding in it. There's also loads of space in the forefoot. I think it's slightly wider than the previous version, and there's a more forgiving upper. So there's definitely a bit more space in the shoe if you have wider feet. I did find it quite hard to get a good fit on it. My first run in it was a 12k, and by about 8k it did feel a bit uncomfortable. It felt like I hadn't quite got the lacings right, and it might be because that upper has a lot more space in it, so I did have to rearrange it quite a bit until it felt comfortable, but I would stay to my size in the Guide 17. So I've only used one guide in the past. I think it was the 15. I like that shoe. It was, at the time, it was a really nice stability shoe that just felt like it had a lot in common with the Triumph at the time, and was a little bit more of an enjoyable shoe to use than something like the Gel Kayano earlier versions, just because it felt a little bit softer. It just felt like it had a nicer rolling action, and didn't feel as full on as some stability shoes like the older Gel Kayanos felt. So I really liked those shoes. This first run I took this out on, there's quite a few updates in this shoe. One of them is more foam, specifically in the forefoot section, which has changed the drop of the shoe. There is a rocker in it, but what I did find is that the ride felt a little bit different to me in this shoe than I felt in the previous versions. It very much felt like a stability shoe. There's a new design element of this, which beds the foot a bit deeper into the shoe, and it has quite high sidewalls on the shoe, and you can really feel that. You can feel the protective elements on either side of the foot. You know you're in a stability shoe when you're running in this, and it feels very good from a stability point of view. You really feel like your foot is held firmly in place. It's got a really wide base on it, so as far as stability shoes go, it's pretty stable, and it feels really good at that. But what I would say is that change in drop, and also I think the midsole foam is a little bit firmer than what I've experienced in the previous version that I tested. It does feel a little bit sluggish to me. It doesn't feel as versatile as earlier versions. That's just off the first run. I am marathon training at the moment, so I may be a little bit tired on some of my easy runs, but I did feel like there was a different ride in this shoe, and it definitely didn't feel conducive to picking up the pace. I didn't feel like I had a particularly nice rolling action for me as well. It felt fine. I didn't have an issue on that run at all. It just felt like it was a shoe that firmly fits in that stability category, that is just giving you solid, stable ride, but isn't really designed to be that versatile. Something like the Saucony Tempus is a stability shoe. It's a lessened stability shoe. It is quite a versatile stability shoe, and you almost don't notice that you're wearing a support shoe when you're out running in that shoe. This, you really do notice it. It is firmly sits in that world of Gel Kayanos and things like that, where you're getting a good level of stability, but I think you're not getting much else in it as well. It's definitely not a shoe that I would want to use if I was training faster or training harder, but it did feel nice and comfortable and solid on the feet. The outsole for me, it's a bit of a funny one. It's got this rubber section around the front of the front of the shoe arch, and then a little bit at the back. The rest of this is exposed midsole foam. It's quite a sturdy midsole, so it's probably going to be pretty durable. But and in terms of the actual grip you're getting from the rubber, I don't think this is going to do a particularly good job. I was fine out on the run today. It was pretty dry. Didn't have any issues, but this does feel like a bit of a smooth outsole. So I'd just be wary of that, and I'll keep an eye on it as I do more runs in it. But it doesn't seem like one of the most hardy outsoles that I've tested on a shoe.
So my first run in the Guide 17 was an easy hour the day after a really hard workout in a high mileage week, probably my highest mileage week ever in fact, and it was just fairly early morning run, so just going out the door, just plodding along, and just wanted something with support and cushioning, and that would help me tick through the miles and just get a few more in the legs and help me flush out some of the, the activity from the workout the day before, and it did that job absolutely perfectly. Yeah, I've not been a massive user of the Guide in the past. I have tried the last couple of models, but this is a bit of a departure, and I think it's a welcome change from me. I think the rocker basically really has come in here and is now a lot more present and effective. I really noticed it on the run. It was quite a smooth moving shoe for what is a tank with a big wide base and all the stability features in it. I did find it quite a fluid and enjoyable shoe to use to just knock along at that easy pace. Lots of support, like I say, lots of comfort, but not a very squishy shoe, and that's what I tend to like. Once I start hitting higher mileage, I like a shoe that's comfortable but not really squishy. I like a stable platform to push against. That doesn't necessarily have to be a stability shoe like this, but the fact this is a stability shoe is not a downside at all for me. Even though I am a neutral runner, I do like the way it feels on the run. You are getting a nice amount of support, but it's not really in your face or very present like classic medial posting style shoes or anything like that, or overly firm. It's comfortable and, like I say, supportive. So it worked really well for me, I would say. It definitely reminded me a lot of the latest version of the Asics Gel Kayano, the Gel Kayano 30. Loads of ground contact with that huge base. Like it is a bit of a tank on the foot like that, but runs a little bit lighter than its kind of size and weight, just because it does move through the foot strike nice and smoothly. So that's the kind of run I would use the shoe for a lot. We'll obviously do a bit more testing at some slightly faster paces. Just check it out as a daily trainer for our full review. But if you're looking at it as mainly a recovery shoe, and you could use it maybe in rotation, something like the Saucony Tempus or a lighter stability shoe to do workouts and faster stuff in, then it does that job really well, I found. Yeah, really comfortable, supportive, enjoyed it.
So my early verdict for the Saucony Guide 17 is that stability-wise, I think it's solid. It's very comfortable. It definitely feels like your foot is supported. It feels like it's really holding it in place, and it really does feel like a comfortable shoe to wear. Your foot really is bedded in, and there's a lot of support on either side of the shoe. But what I would say is that it doesn't feel very versatile for me. I didn't particularly find that run very easy in this shoe. Felt like a bit of a slog, which may be partly because I'm tired because of marathon training. But it just didn't feel like it was helping me in any way. It just felt like it was making that run stable and supportive, which is a good thing. There's a massive wide base on this. It definitely feels like if you need a lot of stability, this is a shoe to go for. But I think something like the Asics Gel Kayano 30 that recently came out, I think is a step on from this. I think this midsole foam is a little bit too firm for me. It doesn't feel like there's any energy in it. I think the Asics Gel Kayano 30 is just a little bit more enjoyable to wear, and definitely for things like easy runs, I think I'd much rather pick up that shoe after that one run. But I'll keep testing, and we'll come back with a full review soon.
Early verdict on the Guide 17 is that it looks like a really strong option for stability seekers who want that big cushioned shoe but don't necessarily want anything too wobbly or anything like that underfoot. Like that could be whether you are a runner who always uses stability shoes and you're trying to counter some overpronation, or a neutral runner who just wants something that's going to give you a lot of support on easy runs during high mileage weeks, marathon training, that kind of thing. It does the job well. It feels nice on the foot. It rolls through quite nicely. There's nothing overly spectacular about the ride. I don't think it's going to be the most versatile shoe, but check that out a bit before our full review. But as a big tank that's going to roll through those easy runs, recovery runs, I think it does its job pretty well. I think it has got a bit bigger and probably slightly less versatile than previous versions of the Guide, which I do think had a bit more of a daily trainer vibe. Like, this is still a cushioned daily trainer. It's not, abnormally heavy or anything like that, but it's not the kind of shoe I'd be whipping out to do even like kind of easy to steady or tempo runs. I reserve this for pure easy runs, which it does quite well, but don't think it's going to be that versatile as an all-rounder. I think it's reasonably well priced though, because if you look at things like the Gel Kayano from Asics, they're a lot more expensive, and this is a pretty good price. I almost like the way Saucony is bringing that kind of premium level of cushioning and designs into the Guide and Ride this year to make them a lot cheaper than shoes like the Triumph or the Asics Gel Kayano, which the prices are getting really high. So the fact that they're kind of mid-level shoes like the Guide and Ride are getting those kind of setups and builds and foams is a good thing because it just gives you a little bit more value, I think. So all around, enjoyed using the guide first run. I'll probably do a fair bit more kind of just easy mileage in it, and it's a shoe that I think that will work quite well as an easy run option in your rotation. But it's not the kind of shoe that's going to blow you away. It's a solid little workhorse, and I do think the stability features work well in providing support without being overbearing. So I think it will work well for quite a broad range of runners, including neutral runners, as well as those who always use a stability shoe.
That's it from us on this first run of the Saucony Guide 17. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that little bell. And if you go to the caption below, you can find a link to our podcast, which comes out at the end of each month. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.